Hello years 9 and 10, Mr. O'Brien here. Today we're going to continue your work on the human rights scheme. Our big question today is, what is freedom of expression? And we're going to explore that idea by looking through these small questions. How do Catholics freely express their religious beliefs through symbols? How do Catholics express their religious beliefs through their mission? And how do Catholics express their religious belief through evangelism? And obviously we'll be looking at what all those words mean as we go through. Today you'll also be using the workbook, which you can see here. Big question, what is freedom of religious expression? And we'll be working through that alongside the PowerPoint as we go. As ever, your first task will be the revisit quiz, which you can see right here on the screen. Sorry, I'm not very good with the drawing thing, but that's where it is. And those questions will now come up on the PowerPoint too. Here they are. So if you would like to pause the video now and complete those questions, that will take you about 5 minutes, and unpause those once you've had a go at these. All these questions are based on work that you've done in the last few weeks since we've been away from school. Off you go. Okay, here are some answers that you could have offered to those questions. So question 1, what is censorship? The practice of suppressing and limiting access to materials considered obscene, offensive or a threat to security. So stopping people from expressing their ideas. 2, what is noise censorship? A way of drowning out different ideas by producing more material in favour of an alternative view. 3, who was Cesar Chavez, a Catholic American Mexican who campaigned for the rights of farm workers. What does the Bible teach us to turn when people are persecuting us in that way? To turn the other cheek. How did Walter Wink interpret this teaching? That in doing so, a person shows that they're not humiliated and are still a human being. What is monotheism? From our Judaism learning, belief in one God. Which group of Jews believe that the Messiah is not a person but a symbol of humanity working together? Reform or Orthodox? That will be Reform. And who is suffering in Isaiah 53? The story of the suffering servant. And for Christians that means Jesus. For Jews that means the state and the country of Israel, their promised land. Okay, moving on. So I want you to have a look at this picture to begin with, and I want you to think about different ways in which religious beliefs are expressed. So pause the video just for a moment and have a look at it. Well, you're looking for at least 6 ways really that religious beliefs are being expressed here. Okay, I'll try and do a bit better with the drawing tool this time and show you what they were. So here we have somebody wearing religious dress. We see a turban here and clothes that may suggest this person is practicing or a member of a particular religion. Again, we have religious dress here. And again here. We have somebody collecting for charity here. This looks to me like a Christian member of the Salvation Army who is showing their religious faith by doing good, by practicing their mission, by raising money to help the poor. We have an advert here, come inside and hear the good news. So some kind of church or religious building there. and advertising here, songs of praise, 6 p.m. on BBC One. So religious ideas being expressed throughout that picture there. What we're going to do now is we're going to move back to the workbook, and I would like you to read through this first knowledge phase here, please. And this shows us how religious symbols are used to express religious belief. Once you've read that, we'll move back to the PowerPoint, and I'd like you to answer the questions in the consolidation phase based on the images that you see here. So pause the video there while you do that and complete that consolidation phase, please. Okay. So next, we want to move on to the next knowledge phase. How do Catholics express their religious belief through their mission? So this is about what do Catholic people do to show they are Catholics. Jesus said to his disciples, and they will know you are disciples by your love, the way you love one another and the way you show love to others. And so how do Catholics do that? What do Catholics do to go out into the world and show that they are Christians, to live out Jesus' teaching and to live out Jesus' example? Within this section of reading here, there are a number of Bible passages. Once you have read through that, I would like you to highlight each passage in the text above, and then in the table below describe which type of mission it could be taken to refer. So what is Mark 16:15, which you can find here? What is that telling Catholics to do? What type of job and what type of mission is that telling Catholics to do in their lives and in what they do? So that table is also here on the PowerPoint, so if you could pause the video now please, read through all that information and then fill in this table. If you've printed the sheet off then great, if you haven't then just make notes on some paper beside you. But do as ever please keep all this work together so that we can take it in and collate it when we get back to school. Okay, and as ever at the end of our lesson we're going to try and put those ideas into practice. So if we go back to the sheet, we've got our application phase, and we're going to look at this statement. So this is a D style question. We're going to argue for and against a statement, and as you know, you need to very clearly articulate at least two different points of view in these questions. So our statement here is religious beliefs should not be expressed in public. And you may or may not be aware that this is a very significant debate, especially in countries like France, where, for example, Muslim women have been banned from wearing their own religious clothes, especially the burqa. Ironically, that policy has become even more controversial in today's climate, where people in France are being asked to cover their faces with masks, but the ban on the burqa still remains. And so, you know, there are real kind of contemporary and up-to-date issues at play here. Should religious beliefs in terms of what we wear, in terms of what we do, and in terms of what we say be allowed to be expressed in public? So as ever, we'll start with a waggle, which will help you to A, start with a reasoned argument, but B, see how that argument should be put across in order to gain most marks. So that's there on the workbook, but I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint now and show you how that works. So if we read through it, one reason why Catholics would probably, that's important, we can never would say would definitely or all Catholics would think this, because in any religion there's going to be difference and divergence of views. But one reason why Catholics would probably disagree with this statement is because they use symbolism to reflect their beliefs. So that's the what, that's what Catholics believe. We're then moving on to the why. So this is because Catholics wear a crucifix to remind them of how the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus brought them salvation from sin. And then we go to the wider. This means that Catholics believe that Jesus died for everyone, and the crucifix is a public expression of thankfulness for God's grace. Now in a D, we also have to evaluate that argument, and we call that the smash. So what, why, wider, smash. Most Catholics would see this as a strong argument because belief in the atoning death of Jesus and his resurrection is a strongly held personal conviction that they believe should be shared with others. So that is a first paragraph that includes a what, a why, a wider, so how that affects Catholic life, and a smash, a real kind of decision on your part as whether you think that is a strong argument or not, and why. So for your second paragraph, we've started this off for you, but we're going to need you to go to the workbook now and to think back about what you've read and what you've learned in the last half an hour or so, and to fill these gaps in yourself. However, many atheists would argue that this is a weak argument because some religious symbols may cause offence to others. This is because. So I want you then to fill that in and to explain that yourself. This means that, and perhaps you could include the example of France that I've just mentioned there, and for atheists this is a strong argument because. So this one's done for you, this one is half done for you, and what I would like you to do at the end there is to add at least another one paragraph of your own following that what, why, wider, smash format to organise your argument and to produce another idea agreeing or disagreeing with the original statement. So if you could have a go at that, please. Just use paper. If you would like to take a photo of that and submit it to your teacher for their consideration, that's great. If not, just keep all your RE work together and we'll have a look at it all when we get back. Thanks for listening today. I've been Mr. O'Brien practicing on this software, so sorry if it was a bit clunky, but all the best. I hope you're all well and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.